Hello YouTube, this is Sudre and Ace Productions. The item you see here is one that I've seen on store shelves multiple times when I was a kid, but I never really got one until now. This is the Adventures of Thomas Wooden Railway 3-pack from 2006. It features 3 variations of our favorite blue engine based on his most iconic moments in the Thomas TV series. Let's start by looking at the box. Just like every other Thomas box from the 2000s, the packaging is very simplistic. On the sides of the box, we see pictures of the engines we get in the pack. This is also true for the back of the box, where each image of Thomas is accompanied by stills from the show and the title of the episode the toy is based on. What caught my eye right away is the section of the box showing the Winter Thomas. Judging by the gray snowplow, we can assume that this Thomas is based on the episode It's Only Snow from Season 6. However, the box states that it comes from Thomas's Snowy Surprise. The Unlucky Tug pointed out a naming error on the original Thomas's Snowy Surprise VHS, where It's Only Snow was called Thomas's Snowy Surprise. My theory is that the person who designed the box used the original VHS for reference, and the naming error carried on to the toy. And speaking of the toy, let's go ahead and open the box. So, right out of the box, all of these models look really great. But I can't make a final judgment until I look at each engine. Let's start with Thomas Comes to Breakfast first. This Thomas is based on the Season 2 episode of the same name, where Thomas tries to move without a driver and ends up crashing into the station master's house. One thing I really like about this model is that they went the extra mile and made a different mold for the smoke box. There's a lot of detail on this model, such as the tree and bowl on one side and the Yorkshire pudding on the other side. Thomas also has a window frame on his smoke box and eggs on either side of his face. On the rest of the model, we can see broken glass and scratches on Thomas's boiler and side tanks. The character card also does a good job of telling the story of Thomas Comes to Breakfast in a condensed way. Overall, this Thomas is great. Now let's move on to the next model, the Paint Splattered Thomas. This Thomas is based on a scene in the movie Calling All Engines, which I haven't seen since I was a kid, but I believe Thomas gets some paint splattered on him. Wait, hang on. 1.5 hours later. So, yeah, I got done trying to sit through Calling All Engines, and it looks like Diesel just pushed a truck towards Thomas and the paint spilled all over him. But anyway, I really like this Thomas. It actually looks like a normal Thomas that was covered in paint in the factory. I also like how they added that drop of yellow running down his face. Overall, another great model. Now let's move on to a more festive model, the Winter Wonderland Thomas. Like I said before, this Thomas is based on the episode It's Only Snow from Series 6, where Thomas gets a new snowplow. Just like the paint splatter Thomas, I really like the detail. It actually looks like Thomas is puffing down the tracks on a snowy day. It also reminds me of Caster Sugar as well. But one gripe that I have is that I wish there was a bit of snow on the sides as well. But he's still great nonetheless. So, there you have it. This has been my review on the Adventures of Thomas. If you tried to make me choose a favorite out of these 3, I would be at a loss for words, because I like all 3 of these engines equally. But I'd give them a 9.5 out of 10. This is Sudre and Ace Productions, saying goodbye, and thank you for watching.